For 2 or 3 months, we will learn OpenGL programming using this book and using this book and using this book, Thomas's Calculus 14th edition, also using James Stewart Calculus 8th edition. From my YouTube channel, if you scroll down, you can find C++ 17, 20, 23, CUDA, SQL, OpenGL, OpenCL, TVB. Click Playlist. If you have been watching my videos from episode 55, set up OpenGL CUDA 1, gl3, pre-gl3, glfw, gl3w, starting with episode 55. If you have watched up to episode 75, OpenGL MFC 7 integration, learning OpenGL and some advanced mathematics will be very fun and a piece of cake. If you haven't watched these videos or missed a few of these, you may have difficulties following my current and future episode. In this session, we will cover Chapter 1. If you scroll down, you can find Example 1. I will cover this example in gory details. I will film 3 or 4 videos for this example 1. I assume you read this text while watching my videos. Without further ado, let's get started. Open up Visual Studio. This is our Visual Studio. Go to Tools, Options, Project Solution, Build and Run. Make sure you select Normal. Don't forget this. Click OK. Go to File, New, Project. If you have watched my previous video, you should have this project template. If these are not listed here, you can search OpenGL Programming Guide 9. So, you must have this project template. If you do not have this project template, then means you haven't watched my previous video and you haven't created this project template. Click Next. Make sure you selected your working directory. Select Folder. Solution name will be 076. Open GL Super Easy Solution. Project name can be anything. Just select default. Create. We are in Debug Build. Control F5. You should build and run successfully. Close it. Close it. If you open Teapot, you can see this code. I made some corrections in the teapot.h. Go to Document, Shapes, Teapot. You may not have these. Ctrl K, Ctrl C. You may not have these. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can find Pragma warning pop-up. it's very likely you haven't set these things. Now, save all. If you build again, you will have this warning message. So this warning message is very annoying. Copy 4305. Control Home. You can do this. Pragma warning push. Then Pragma warning disable 4305. So we are suppressing warning 4305. We store existing warning. Then we disable warning 4305. Then we have to restore at the bottom of this file using pragma warning pop. Okay, please type in by yourself. Control Home. This preprocessor can be quite handy. Now save all. We can Control F5 again. Sorry, it is running. Close it. Then press F5. It should build and run successfully. If you close this console window, the OpenGL window closes automatically. Now we can close it. Right click, source file, add new item. We will simply add CPP file to our project. Now I will arrange side by side like this. Watch very carefully. Right click teapot, properties, general, make sure all configurations selected. Make it exclude from build. Yes. Watch the icon 09 teapot.cpp. Watch the icon very carefully. Apply. So the icon changes like this. Click OK. Now here include talk play fun output HPP into main Control F5. You should be able to build successfully. Now close it. I will auto hide. I will arrange like this. So we included this header file. We don't need this. I will just copy and paste. I don't need this. Also, I can say like this. Also, like this. It's no problem. Like this. Also, like this. Because we set environment variables. Now, I will simply copy this part 2. So, this is our program. Please don't forget debug. This is our stream output. Hello, open GL programming guide 9 semicolon, press Ctrl F5. You cannot see the message. Okay, you cannot see this message. You have to NL, end line. So one carriage return and flush out the console. Without this, you cannot see any message. Now I will close it. Press Ctrl F5. Now you can see Hello OpenGL Programming Guide. Now close it. We will run this program. I will explain in gory detail one by one. This program is very simple. I will close it. In this book, this is OpenGL Programming Guide 9th edition. This is example 1.1 triangles. We are going to create this program. Okay, I will zoom up. If you scroll down, you can find function main. Okay, it starts with glfwInit. So we can say auto glfw init result glfw init. I called this function. Okay, if you do not know what is glfwInit, don't worry. You can Google like this. Then glfworg initialization version and error reference. So you need this documentation. If you scroll down, you can find glfwInit. Initialize the glfw library. More. So this function initializes the glfw library before most glfw functions can be used. glfw must be initialized, and before an application terminates, glfw should be terminated in order to free any resources allocated during or after initialization. It means we have to call this function before most of glfw functions. Okay, so we are calling this function, and it says this function returns glfw true if successful, or glfw false if an error occurred. So we can say here, if glfw init result is glfw, sorry, I forgot, glfw false. So glfw false, it means failed. Okay, we failed. So debug failed to initialize glfwInit. We can say glfwInit failed. Don't forget we need ln. Then we can simply return 0. Okay. Now we will call glfw create window. We initialized, then we create window. Then it says width 640 480. This is width height. Then title constant character. Hello, OpenGL Programming Guide 9. Then monitor width height title. This is title. Then monitor. I will put null because monitor is pointer type. Window shared null, and it returns glfw window pointer. So glfw window pointer window. I created function like this. So we will look up this function here. Paste glfw window reference. So let's see glfw window. Where is glfw create window? We are calling this function more. So I will get this link and paste it here for your reference. If you control click it, you will get to here. This function creates window and its associated OpenGL or OpenGL-ES context. Most of the options controlling how the windows and its context should be created are specified with the window hints. And pay attention to this part. What is monitor or monitor? Then we can say you can read more. Between windowed and fill windowed mode, glfw set window monitor. So if you read it more, then you can say click this or go back, retrieve monitor. See retrieve monitors. So it has a function called get primary monitor. So we copy this and paste it here. We get this from this link. So we can pass monitor. This is primary monitor. We can try this. What if this function fails? Well, it cannot fail. Anyway, let's keep going. Then we have to make glfw make context current. We pass window. Okay, we pass window. About these things, you can always refer to this book. I am following this book. We made context current, this part. Okay, context current. Then we have to initialize gl3w. We have to memorize this name, init. Okay, say we look up Google once again, like this. Then OpenGL loading function, not this one, this one. Let's see this link, gl3w. No. Kronos glfw initialization. There is some explanation, but this is not good enough. See this part. If you control click it, you can find gl3w sample OpenGL core profiling loading. It gives some better example. glfw API consists of 3 functions: gl3wInit. gl3w is supported. This function initializes the library. Should be called once after OpenGL context has been created. Returns 0 when glfw3 initialized successfully. So I will copy this text and paste it here. It might look a little bit overwhelming if you are doing for the first time. So returns 0 when glfw was initialized successfully. Non-zero if there was an error. So if it is non-zero, so error occurred. Debug failed to initialize gl3wInit. Okay, then nl. Don't forget nl. We return 0. So we are in function main. We are returning 0. Wait. This documentation, once again, this documentation says glfwInit more. I will copy this link. Okay, I will copy and paste this link. This link says if this function fails, it calls glfw terminate before returning. If it succeeds, you should call glfw terminate before the application exits. So I will copy this text and paste it here. Okay. So if it is not false, it is successful. So we have to call glfw terminate like this. glfw terminate. But don't code like this. It can be very nasty. If you do coding like this, your coding becomes very complex. Instead, make do block. Okay, then do block closed while false. we simply end our do block. Then glfw terminate. Okay. Then we don't need this stupid thing. We don't need. We just break. Okay. This break jumps to this part. This way of coding is much cleaner. Now, if successful, in this documentation, we can find another very interesting function. glfw is supported. We will use this function shortly. I would copy and paste it here. I will use it shortly. Now we test our OpenGL version. We can say gl int major minor. Okay, then gl get integer b. This b means vector. Vector means array. Okay. In this function, this v stands for vector. Vector means array. Then gl major version. We do not have a vector, but we can change it into vector using reference. We will use this technique all the time. So gl get integer v gl minor version, then minor. We can print out debug OpenGL version major minor NL. Okay, we are retrieving OpenGL version. Now press Ctrl F5. This is version 4.6. This is latest OpenGL version. Now close it because we used this is full screen mode. Okay, if you do not want full screen mode, you can use null. Ctrl F5 like this. OpenGL 4.6. Well, we can test if our device, OpenGL device, supports version 4.6 like this. If gl3w is supported major version, for example 3.3, 1. For example, you can say debug open gl 3.1 is supported and else I can say is not supported. We can test like this. Ctrl F5. So 3.1 is supported. Let's try 5.6. 5.6. There is no such version. Okay, there is no such version, so it should return false. So 5.6 is not supported. Let's try 4.6. 4.6. 4.6. Of course, 4.6 is supported. Now, here, we have to create message pump. Remember, message pump. You should remember this name, message pump. While glfw Windows should close, we pass window and negation. Don't forget negation here. Then we use loop to some OpenGL graphics here. Then we have to extract message, window message. To do that, we use glfw for events. Sometimes we call message, sometimes we call event. Message and event in this context is identical. Okay? Don't forget polling events. Extract events or message from message queue. We have to handle events by calling this function. Then glfw destroy window. Instead of doing this, copy, disable it. Then right before we close, terminate, we destroy window like this. Here, copy, paste, set it null. Then fix your code like this. Now scroll down. If window is not null, then we destroy window. Press Ctrl F5. It should build and run like this. This is our Hello OpenGL window. We will draw 3D graphics in this window. Now, if you click this button, then everything gets closed. Scroll up. If we want to try full window, then copy, paste, press Ctrl F5. Now this is full window. We haven't drawn color yet. Press Alt Tab several times. Close. I would highly recommend you to read this part of text. I will create 2 or 3 videos about example 1. I will give you gory details about OpenGL programming. Create buffers, name the buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target. Create buffers, name the buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target. Create buffers, name the buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target. Create buffers, name the buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target. create buffers named buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target, create buffers named buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target, create buffers named buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target, create buffers named buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target, create buffers named buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target, create buffers named buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target, create buffers named buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target, create buffers named buffer storage, bind the buffer to its target.